Putin Trump meeting in Alaska. What if this opens a contractual agreement between the United States and Russia to checkmate the European Union and the UK simultaneously? I don't like saying it, but maybe Trump is a genius. Hear me out. Hi, my name is Marcel. I'm living in Russia, and welcome to another episode of The Trajectory. Today is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025, 2 days before the Alaskan summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, roadmap forward for the Americans and the Russians. As you know, in the last meetings in Istanbul, the Ukrainian armed forces, with the head Volodymyr Zelensky, attempted many provocations before the meetings in order to disrupt any chance of peace. It's very clear to me, based on my experience of geopolitical analysis, as to what is going on behind the scenes politically behind Volodymyr Zelensky. It's clear that, like the previous summit in Istanbul, where the Ukrainian government sponsored, with the help of the British, Operation Spiderweb going after Russia's strategic nuclear triad assets, that something is probably going to be afoot soon in Russia, sponsored by Western elite, because they don't want a successful meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. As a former military officer and person who takes a keen interest in geopolitical politics, especially as it relates to Western influence and the Russian government, I can see clearly that the Western political elite in the NATO establishment are very upset that Donald Trump is trying to negotiate a peace deal. And they don't want this peace deal. They want to continue using Ukraine as a aggressive staging point to fight against Russia. And the goal is to break up Russia into pieces. It's always been the goal. That goes back for many years. Strategic documents indicate that. Zelensky is clearly trying to play contradictions in Trump's team and manipulate Trump's ambitions. It's important to ask about the politics and the propaganda behind the politics. Is Zelensky an independent actor? I would answer no, and that he is clearly influenced by the UK, France, and Germany to continue and upset the peace so that he can continue to receive and profit from this war that his countrymen are dying for. It's very clear that a lot of the propaganda that comes out of the West is without much notice. Are we going to see another provocation? Probably here on the Bryansk region has already had many attempts to propagate a conflict. Putin Trump meeting in Alaska. What if this opens a contractual agreement between the United States and Russia to checkmate the European Union and the UK simultaneously? I don't like saying it, but maybe Trump is a genius. Hear me out. I think it's possible that Trump is wanting to open an energy corridor from Siberia to Alaska. This would strategically destroy Western globalists in Europe, UK, including Canada, and those remaining around the world. All future energy flowing to the European continent would be guaranteed political overwatch by the United States and Russia to ensure the economic security of Russia is guaranteed in the future. There is a Chinese dimension to this. Russia remains a sovereign global power without having to become subservient to any other nation. The USA would never have to worry about the European Union or its subversive actions that the UK, Germany, and France may do against the US dollar. The US dollar and ruble would crush the euro. Trump would have to offer Russia the following contractual agreements related to the Ukraine. The far-right sector would have to be removed from power. The Ukraine would have to stop receiving munitions immediately. Forced limitations would be enforced within the Ukrainian region south of the Dnieper River, and the entire north sector of the Dnieper River would be demilitarized. They would have to establish trilateral inclusion zones in Odessa, secured by the Russian Navy. There would be no further talk of NATO expansion east, range limits on rocket system deployments within the NATO territory, disbanding the Ukrainian Navy and Air Force, full recognition of the UN Security Council of the four regions as the Russian Federation, including Crimea at the United Nations Security Council. Other trade agreements related to minerals and mining deals would bolster the deal between the United States and Russia. Removal of the economic sanctions related to banking with the US and the Federal Reserve. This, in fact, would serve the purpose of the American people more than any other actions. The US dollar would strengthen, and the US energy field would be secure for many years. And Europe and all its vassal states that continue to cause and provoke wars with Russia would then be neutered. That is what I see as the plan ahead for Russia and Putin.